In DeKalb County is vowing to get justice after someone shot and killed their pregnant loved one and her unborn baby. 11 Live's Ron Jones joins us now with the family's heartbreaking push, Ron, to find the killer.
Yeah, this is a horrible story here. It's a story we had as breaking news on our 11 Alive 24/7 stream. The mother and father of 23-year-old Shakiya Pridgen calls her a loving, sweet, and caring person with a very good heart. Well, the family says that Shakiya was shot and killed early this morning at an apartment complex on Pepper Tree Circle. They said that she was asleep in bed with her 1-year-old son, her 3-year-old daughter when the gunfire broke out, came through the bedroom window shortly before 6 a.m. 2 children were not hurt. However, Shakiya and her unborn child both were killed.
I want the world to know that somebody took a blessing from all of us, and we will get justice. You just don't know how strong this family is together, how much we done lost. This will not be the last time you hear from us. We will get justice for you, Shakiya and Kyren. Kyren is her son's name. He was due to be born next week.
It was 5:45 in the morning. Shakiya Pridgen was asleep. In her bed were her 2 children. A 1-year-old. A 3-year-old. And inside her, a son she had not yet met. A son she was due to deliver any day. She had just celebrated her baby shower. Days before. Friends. Family. Gifts for a baby boy already given a name. Kyren. And then, in the dark, early hours of a Tuesday morning, someone walked up to her window and opened fire. Police say about a dozen shots were fired through that window. Into the room where she slept. Into the bed where her children lay beside her. She was hit multiple times. Her children were not. Welcome to 0 Hour Crimes TV. Tonight, we are telling the story of Shakiya Pridgen. 23 years old. Days from giving birth. A mother who did everything right, and was killed in the one place she should have been safe. Her bed. Stay with me through this entire video. Because this story is still unfolding, and her family says it never should have happened at all. Decatur, Georgia. DeKalb County. Just east of Atlanta, a community of tree-lined streets, apartment complexes, and families building quiet lives close to the city. On Pepper Tree Circle, in the early morning hours, that quiet was shattered. Around 5:45 a.m., someone fired a flurry of shots into a window of a residence. Inside, Shakiya Pridgen, 23 years old, 9 months pregnant, asleep with her 1-year-old son and 3-year-old daughter. She was struck multiple times. She was rushed to the hospital. She did not survive. And neither did her unborn son. DeKalb County Sheriff Melody Maddox described it plainly, and painfully. She said this act of senseless violence claimed the lives of a young mother and her unborn child, devastating a family, and a community. A mother. A son who never took a breath. And 2 small children, who were in that bed when the bullets came through the window. If you're new to 0 Hour Crimes TV tonight, this channel exists for stories like this one. Real cases. Real victims. Real families demanding justice while a case is still active. Hit subscribe. Hit the bell. We're going to follow this one until there's a verdict. Shakiya Pridgen was 23 years old. According to her family, she had recently moved into her very first apartment on her own. A milestone. A fresh start. She had plans to get married, plans to build a stable, settled life for herself and her children. Her father, Paco Pridgen, described her in the simplest, most devastating terms.
And somebody took the life of somebody.
He called her a loving, sweet, caring person with a good heart, and said somebody took the life of his daughter. She was already a mother of 2. A 1-year-old son. A 3-year-old daughter. And in just days, she was set to welcome a 3rd child. A son. Already named. Kyren. She'd had her baby shower just days before she was killed. The gifts. The celebration. The countdown to meeting him. All of it, cut short in the time it takes to fire a dozen rounds through a bedroom window. Her mother, Verdina Scott, spoke about her daughter and grandson with raw, unfiltered grief.
She was a blessing to my family. She was a blessing to so many people. She was very well known, beautiful. She was a beautiful girl, beautiful inside and out.
She said she wanted the world to know that somebody took a blessing from all of them, and that they would get justice. She said it would not be the last time anyone heard from this family. Devin Anthony is 26 years old. According to Pridgen's family, he is her ex-boyfriend, and the father of her unborn son, Kyren. Investigators have not publicly confirmed the full relationship history between Anthony and Pridgen, but her family has been clear and consistent. They say Anthony knew exactly where she lived. They say he knew exactly where she slept, in a bed she shared with her 2 small children. Hours after the shooting, the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office located and arrested Devin Anthony at a home in Riverdale, Georgia. He now faces charges of malice murder, feticide, 2 counts of aggravated assault with intent to murder, criminal damage to property, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. That last charge is where this story takes a turn that has enraged Shakiya's family, and ignited a public debate over Georgia's justice system. Because this was not Devin Anthony's first time facing a murder charge. Records show that back in September 2021, a Fulton County grand jury indicted Devin Anthony for murder, in the shooting death of a man. He was facing a murder charge. But instead of standing trial and facing the full weight of that charge, records show Anthony struck a negotiated plea deal under Georgia's First Offender Act. The murder charge was reduced to manslaughter. A judge sentenced him to 20 years, but only 11 months of that sentence behind bars. The remaining 19 years were to be served on probation. 11 months. For a murder charge. And there's more. Investigators have confirmed that Anthony's probation was revoked back in February, after he failed a drug test. He was already in violation. He was already someone the system had flagged as failing to comply with the terms that kept him out of prison. And in the months that followed, prosecutors say he allegedly walked up to a window on Peppertree Circle and fired a dozen rounds into the home of his pregnant ex-girlfriend. Shakiya's mother did not hold back. She said he got a second chance, and Shakiya doesn't get a second chance.
He got a second chance. Shakiya doesn't get a second chance. And he shouldn't be allowed a third to do this to somebody else. He shouldn't have never been let out.
She said he shouldn't be allowed a third chance to do this to somebody else. She said he should have never been let out. Her father asked the question so many people watching this story have asked since.
I don't understand. If you murder somebody, you just get probation.
He said he doesn't understand how, if you murder somebody, you just get probation. Those are not just grieving parents speaking out of pain. Those are questions about a system. A system that took a murder charge, and turned it into 11 months. A system that revoked his probation for failing a drug test, and still, somehow, he was free. Free enough to allegedly stand outside a window with a gun. This video is hitting different than most of our cases, because this one is still unfolding in real time. After the shooting on Peppertree Circle, deputies say the gunfire came from outside the residence, shots fired directly into the window from the outside in. A search for the shooter began immediately. Later that same Tuesday, the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office located Devin Anthony approximately 15 miles away, at a home on Quail Hunt Drive in Riverdale, Georgia. He was taken into custody without further incident reported. He made his first court appearance the following day, Wednesday, formally charged in connection with the deaths of Shakiya Pridgen and her unborn son. As of this recording, he remains held without bond in the DeKalb County Jail. Sheriff Melody Maddox addressed the arrest directly, saying it was paramount that her office use its authority to work tirelessly to apprehend dangerous individuals who threaten the safety of residents. No trial date has been set. No plea has been entered as of this recording. This is a case in its earliest stages, and we will be watching every development. We need to pull back here. Because what happened to Shakiya Pridgen is not an isolated horror. It is part of a pattern that public health researchers have been documenting, and warning about, for years. Homicide is one of the leading causes of death for pregnant women in the United States. Not complications. Not illness. Homicide. Research published in medical journals has consistently found that pregnant and recently pregnant women are more likely to be killed than to die from a pregnancy-related medical complication, and in the overwhelming majority of those cases, the person responsible is a current or former intimate partner. A boyfriend. An ex-boyfriend. Someone who, at some point, the victim trusted. Researchers have pointed to pregnancy itself as a potential flashpoint, a moment that can escalate existing conflict in a relationship, even one that has already ended. Fear of the responsibility that's coming. Conflict over child support, custody, or involvement. A perceived loss of control. Shakiya Pridgen had already moved on. She had her own apartment. She was building her own life, for herself and her children, independent of Devin Anthony. And prosecutors allege that is exactly the home he came to, in the dark, with a gun. Georgia is a state with some of the nation's strictest fetal personhood laws, which is why Anthony faces a separate feticide charge in addition to malice murder. In the eyes of Georgia law, Kyren's death is not a footnote to his mother's. It is its own count. Its own victim. Its own charge. As this case moves forward, here is what to watch for. Devin Anthony remains held without bond at the DeKalb County Jail. Prosecutors will need to build their case around the physical evidence from the scene, shell casings, ballistics, and any surveillance footage from the Peppertree Circle complex, to support the charges of malice murder and feticide. The defense, when it is formally presented, may challenge the relationship narrative the family has described, or contest elements of how the shooting is alleged to have occurred from outside the residence. A GoFundMe has been established by the family to cover funeral costs for Shakiya and her unborn son, and to support her 2 surviving children, now being raised by their grandmother, Verdina Scott. We do not yet know whether prior reports, restraining orders, or police calls existed between Anthony and Pridgen before this shooting. If that information becomes public through the court process, we will cover it in a follow-up. Before you click away tonight, I want you to picture a baby shower.
Alright, we getting ready to turn this thing out. Baby shower time. Get ready to open up them gifts. Hey, mama and daughter, get ready to do their thing. Go ahead, Dina. Go ahead, Kaya, mother and daughter. Hey, listen, we welcome you guys.
Just days before. A name already chosen, Kyren. A nursery probably already half-built. A mother who had just moved into her own apartment, building a life for the children already in her arms, and the ones still to come. Shakiya Pridgen did not die in some unknown danger, in some unpredictable place. She died in her bed. Asleep. Beside her 1-year-old. Beside her 3-year-old. If her family's account is accurate, if Devin Anthony knew exactly where she slept, then this was not random. This was not unforeseeable. And if records are accurate that he was free on probation, after a murder charge, after failing a drug test just months before, then this is not only a story about one man's alleged choice. It's a story about how many chances a system will give, before someone runs out of them. If you are in a relationship, current or former, where you feel unsafe, where someone knows too much about your life, your schedule, where you sleep, please tell someone. Please document it. Please don't wait. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is available 24 hours a day. Call 1-800-799-7233. Or text START to 88788. It's free. It's confidential. Shakiya cannot be brought back. Kyren never got his first breath. But someone you know, might still be saved. Drop in the comments, should Georgia's First Offender Act be reformed? Shakiya's family is already calling for it. I want to hear what you think. Like this video. Share it. Subscribe to 0 Hour Crimes TV. And say her name. Shakiya Pridgen. And her son, Kyren, who was loved, and named, and waited for, before he ever took a breath. This is 0 Hour Crimes TV. We follow the cases that matter, from the first headline to the final verdict. Stay with us. Subscribe, like, share, say her name in the comments. We will follow this case to trial. Hit the bell for updates.